Namo Didafa, good morning. Thank you for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The fifth mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, I vow to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for myself, my family, and my society, by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. I will ingest only items that preserve peace, well-being, and joy in my body, in my consciousness, and in the collective body and consciousness of my family and society. I'm determined not to use alcohol or any other items that contain toxins, such as certain TV programs, magazines, books, films, and conversations. I'm aware that to damage my body or my consciousness with these poisons is to betray my ancestors, my parents, my society, and future generations. I will work to transform violence, fear, anger, and confusion in myself and in society by practicing a diet for myself and for society. I understand that a proper diet is crucial for self-transformation and the transformation of society. This morning we're continuing our reading of Unpacking the Harm or the Pain Ill Will Causes from Ajahn Tir Dhamma's book, Working with the Five Hindrances. We understand that ill will is an effect in a cause-effect relationship. So once you are aware of ill will, investigate its details. How does it manifest? Active or passive, confined or diffuse, compacted or pervasive? When we are more clear about its nature, we inquire what the cause is, that is, what sort of pain or hurt is behind it. Firstly, is it mostly physical or mental, or both? What aspect of the self is feeling hurt right now? Often it's easier to investigate the physical expressions of ill will overtly and subtly, externally and internally. For example, try to access the contraction. How do you relate to a contraction? If you have a muscle contraction, you have to relax it in order to release it. Some of these contractions may be really locked and knotted. They may need activation. Give them a shake. Get some blood circulating. Maybe some contractions need energizing, stretching, or discharging. Others may be frozen contractions, which need warming up with some tender loving care and attention. Breathe warm friendliness into them. The main point is to find the right place to contact the physical contraction, the mood, the attitude. If you pursue this inquiry, you will learn a lot about yourself. It's quite humbling and also quite absurd sometimes when you see all the little things you can get upset about. Of course, if you understand what this word hurt means, you will realize that we have a long history of hurt and disappointments, and most of it remains unprocessed. Seeds for ill will lying dormant in the psyche, ready to burst into life with the right stimulus. To be able to unpack this stuff requires real openness of heart, real sincerity. Often it is much easier to react with righteous indignation and say, life is tough. You just have to grin and bear it. However, this doesn't in any way shift the potential for aversion or anger to come bursting onto the scene. It's only by going into it, through seeing the conditioned dynamics of the process, that it opens up from the inside out. What aspect of you is it that is being hurt? Only by ultimately realizing the selflessness at the very core of our being hurt does it begin to resolve. There's still hurt, but no person being hurt. We aren't taking it personally. There's a body, there are feelings, perception, mental activity, consciousness, but there's no person being hurt. So why get angry about it? In the explanation of the practice of friendliness in the path of purification, a question is posed regarding the results of very advanced development. You're sitting with your best friend, a neutral person, and your worst enemy. This is very hypothetical. And bandits come along and say, "We need to kill somebody for a sacrifice. You choose who it is." Do you choose yourself, your best friend, the neutral person, or the worst enemy? Which person would you choose for the sacrifice? It's not the person you might think, because friendliness transforms our whole relationship to reality. It dissolves all boundaries. We step outside our usual way of looking at reality as me and other, as subject and object. Practice friendliness meditation all week, and you may get the answer to this question. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for joining me today.